Hello, and welcome to the second episode in my Battlefield Hardline weapon guide. Today we take a look at the starting submachine gun, available for the mechanic, a compact version of a quintessential Cold War submachine gun, the MP5K. The MP5K, or Maschinenpistole A5 is a shortened version of various models of the MP5 SMG. The design was first introduced in 1976 with a significantly smaller profile than its cousin. The MP5K would lend itself for use in urban and clandestine operations. The shortening of the weapon resulted in a lighter bolt, which in turn notably increased its cyclic rate. In addition to this, the stock was removed and the forward handguard was replaced with a vertical grip to compensate. The end result was a highly effective submachine gun that is still, to this day, in service globally. In-game, the MP5K is the standard issue SMG for the mechanics, and is on the higher end of the damage spectrum for the SMGs. Max damage will come in at a fair 34. Providing all shots hit the torso, you will down opponents in just 3 shots. Its damage quickly fades with range, however, and can deal as little as 12 damage per shot, significantly increasing your time to kill. However, within its effective range, you should easily have the upper hand against assault and battle rifle users, and can still remain competitive against shotguns in the right circumstances. Rate of fire is thoroughly average at 850 rounds per minute. While this is not as fast as the K10 or FMG9, it is still able to quickly shred enemies at close ranges. The quick action of the MP5K will also let it be manageable when firing from the hip. Most importantly, the MP5K's fire rate lets it remain very competitive as far as time to kill is concerned at close ranges, being only bested by the K10 at extreme close ranges. However, it will often be bested outside of close range by longer ranged weapons. Along with the M45 and Uzi, the MP5 will have the quickest and steepest range drop off. You will start seeing damage reduced at 8 meters and you will reach your minimum damage at 20 meters. Leaving you with a small zone of effectiveness. This means you will need to stick to interiors of the map to be effective, making sure enemies remain within spitting distance to ensure easy kills. Muzzle velocity is surprisingly good. Not spectacular like the high velocity P90 and MPX, but enough to reduce the penalties of using a suppressor. High velocity means it's easier to compensate for moving targets at far distances. Recoil is actually fairly low compared to other SMGs, being outperformed only by the Uzi. However, the MP5, even without attachments, is extremely easy to handle out to middle distances, making up somewhat for its pathetic damage drop-off. While ideally long-range firefights should be avoided, if you are cornered, try to make good use of the superior handling of the MP5 to ensure that you'll come out on top. Just keep in mind that the first shot multiplier is quite hefty compared to other SMGs. Accuracy is again excellent, with it being arguably the most accurate out of all the submachine guns. This at least will let you easily land shots from afar. Still, firing the MP5 past 30 meters can be a bit dicey, especially when up against carbines and other rifles, as they will generally leave you in a pool of your own blood. Stick to interiors and only engage at long ranges when there's no other option. Magazine size is very small, coming in at just 20 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. This means that the MP5 will have the smallest magazines out of all the SMGs, making extended magazines almost a requirement for those without laser accuracy. The small magazines are the biggest issue for the MP5K, so those who prefer generous amounts of ammo may be best served using a different SMG. However, it will somewhat redeem this with a sprightly reload. Tactical reloads will take 2.3 seconds to complete, while full reloads will take an extra second, bringing it to 3.3 seconds. While other SMGs will reload faster, 2.3 seconds is generally plenty fast enough considering the large-scale battles and generous amounts of cover featured in Battlefield. The MP5K is very effective at close range, and at least has handling characteristics that makes it usable at long range. However, its small magazine size is an issue that we will need to address with attachments. Close range optics will work well with the MP5K, providing a clearer view on target when aiming. Optics such as the KOBRA, HOLO, or micro sight are all great choices, although it will ultimately come down to user preference. For an accessory, the choice should be fairly obvious. With only 20 rounds per magazine, the extended mag is almost a must. For those who feel brave enough or are accurate enough, the laser sight can be useful as well. Our barrel attachment can vary depending on playstyle. Those preferring a clandestine approach may wish to elect the suppressor at the cost of having your muzzle velocity. However, range will not be affected. The muzzle brake will be the best choice for those who plan on running and gunning, and the heavy barrel for those who will engage while stationary. The MP5K, while not being the most easy to use, makes up for this with superior handling and competitive close-range performance. However, its small magazine and harsh damage drop-off makes even medium-range firefights difficult at best. Still, the MP5K is a very deadly SMG in the right hands. This compact death dealer will make short work of your enemies. Thank you very much for watching. Join me next time when we'll be covering the Remington 870. But until then, farewell.